You click a link to read an article, maybe something about relationship psychology, like 36 deep questions to ask your significant other. You're expecting a standard web page, but instead, you hit a digital dead end. Instead of the article, you're confronted with an error screen notifying you that you have been blocked, issued by a service called Cloudflare. When this happens, the immediate reaction is usually to blame the connection. We assume it's a dead link, a server outage, or a temporary glitch on our end. In reality, Cloudflare has intervened because it identified your specific request as part of a potential online attack, halting the connection before it could reach the host website. In the milliseconds between your click and this error, a security gatekeeper subjected your data to a very different kind of deep question. Are you a human, or are you a threat? We tend to think of firewalls as static walls surrounding a network. In practice, modern security operates as an active, aggressive interrogator stationed at the very edge of the server's reach. Every time you access a web page, you are firing off a packet of data. Before it reaches its destination, it slams into this interrogating barrier. The security solution instantly scans the contents of that incoming data packet against a strict set of criteria to decide whether to grant or deny access. Passing this invisible interrogation is the mandatory foundation for practically all modern internet browsing. Cloudflare's error text lists the specific triggers that cause the system to drop the hammer on a connection. The most basic trigger is the submission of a flagged word or phrase, text known to be associated with malicious intent or common bot scripts. The second trigger is malformed data. This diagram shows the difference between the uniform shapes of a standard data packet and these jagged, irregular shapes that refuse to follow the structural rules expected by the host server. The moment the system detects these structural irregularities, it drops the connection, preventing the data from being processed by the server's internal systems. These basic triggers, flagged phrases and structural errors, act as a filter to weed out automated bots and blind brute force attacks. The error message explicitly names an even more dangerous trigger, the SQL command. A server's database is a system designed to answer questions, and SQL, structured query language, is the vocabulary used to ask them. An SQL injection attack works by embedding commands into standard input fields. If unfiltered, the database executes the code, granting access to restricted files. Once inside, the attacker forces the server to dump every username, password, and financial record. Alternatively, the attacker can use these commands to wipe the database entirely or corrupt the files until the system collapses. Because of this risk, the firewall's logic is uncompromising. Aggressively blocking these powerful SQL queries at the perimeter is the only way to prevent the total compromise of the host network. When a block occurs, the event is meticulously logged as a forensic record, rather than just being discarded as a failed connection. At the bottom of the error page is the unique identifier for that specific event, the Cloudflare Ray ID, listed alongside your IP address. This alphanumeric string acts as a unique fingerprint for that exact split-second interaction between your device and the server. The resolution process requires the user to email the site owner with this Ray ID and a description of what they were doing when they were blocked. With this data, the site owner can review the server logs to see the exact packet that triggered the alarm and determine if the block was a mistake or a legitimate threat. This automated dialogue of interrogations and forensic logging is what allows a website to stay online while under constant bombardment. It is the background necessity that keeps the connection between a user and their data secure.